I've already took my earrings off. That's when you know you get comfortable, when you take your earrings off or your jewelry off. Anyways, we're continuing the life of Samson, and he definitely has a problem with women. He every time he finds a woman, it's not the right kind of woman that he should be with, and so this definitely the women's situation will definitely be his downfall. As we continue in the life of Samson, we will read in Judges chapter 16. And before we begin, we'll ask the Lord to help us by asking Him to open thou mine eyes that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law. Psalm 119, verse 18. Then went Samson to Gaza, and saw there an harlot, and went in unto her. And it was told the Gazites, saying, Samson is come hither. And they compassed him in, and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all the night, saying, In the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. And Samson lay till midnight, and arose at midnight, and took the doors of the gate of the city and the two posts, and went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulders, and carried them up to the top of a hill that is before Hebron. And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. And the lords of the Philistines came up unto her, and said unto her, Entice him, and see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him, and we will give thee every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. And Delilah said to Samson, Tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. Verse 7. And Samson said unto her, If they buy me with 7 green withs that will never dried, that shall I be weak and be another man. Verse 8. That the Lord of the Philistines brought up to her 7 greens with which had not been dried, and she bound him with them. Now there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber. And she said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he brake the withs as a thread of tow is broken when it toucheth the fire, so his strength was not known. And Delilah said unto Samson, Behold, thou hast mocked me, and told me lies. Now tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, If they buy me fast with new ropes that never were occupied, then shall I be weak, and be as other men. Delilah therefore took new ropes, and bound him therewith, and said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And they were liers in wait, abiding in the chamber, and he brake them from off his arms like a thread. And Delilah said unto Samson, Hitherto thou hast mocked me, and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, If thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web. And she fastened it with the pin, and said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awaked out of his sleep, and went away with the pin of the beam and with the web. And she said unto him, How canst thou say, I love thee, when mine heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me these 3 times, and hast not told me wherein thy great strength lieth. And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words, and urged him so that his soul was vexed unto death, that he told her all his heart, and said unto her, There hath not come a razor upon mine head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me. I shall become weak, and be like any other man. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, Come up this once, for he hath showed me all his heart. Then the lords of the Philistines came up unto her, and brought money in their hand. And she made him sleep upon her knees, and she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. Verse 20. And she said, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awoke out of his sleep, and said, I will go out as at other times before, and shake myself. And he wist not that the Lord was departed from him. But the Philistines took him, and put out his eyes, and brought him down to Gaza, and bound him with fetters of brass. And he did grind in the prison house. Howbeit the hair of his head began to grow again after he was shaven. Then the lords of the Philistines gathered them together for to offer a great sacrifice unto Dagon their God, and to rejoice, for they said, our God hath delivered Samson our enemy into our hand. And when the people saw him, they praised their God. For they said, our God hath delivered into our hands our enemy and the destroyer of our country, which slew many of us. And it came to pass, when their hearts were merry, that they said, call for Samson, that he may make us sport. And they called for Samson out of the prison house, and he made them sport. And they set him between the pillars. And Samson said unto the lad that held him by the hand, suffer me that I may fill the pillars whereupon the house standeth, that I may lean upon them. Now the house was full of men and women, and all the lords of the Philistines were there. And there upon the roof about 3,000 men and women that beheld while Samson made sport. And Samson called unto the Lord and said, O Lord God, remember me, I pray thee, and strengthen me. I pray thee only this once, O God, that I may be at once avenged of the Philistines for my two eyes. And Samson took hold of the two middle pillars upon which the house stood, and on which it borne up, and of the one with his right hand, and of the other with his left. And Samson said, let me die with the Philistines. And he bowed himself with all his might, and the house fell upon the lords and upon all the people that were therein. So the dead which he slew at this death were more than they which he slew in his life. We're reading the Bible, and this is Judges chapter 16, verse 31, and the life of Samson. And this is the final verse, 31. Then his brethren and all the house of his father came down and took him and brought him up and buried him between Zorah and Eshtaol in the burying place of Manoah his father. And he judged Israel 20 years. So Samson loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, and her name was Delilah. She was not a good wife for him. His feelings of love feelings, I guess you would say, maybe blinded him to that. She definitely had other plans involved in marrying him. In verse 16 it says, well, what causes Samson to relent and tell Delilah his secret is because she pressed him daily, asking him the same thing over and over again with her words, and urged him. And the Bible even says it vexed his soul because she asked him so much. And after Samson is shaven, what does Delilah do? It says that she then afflicts him as well. So despite all of his mistakes, God answers Samson's prayer at the end. Even if he does cause Samson's death, he does have a final reconciliation there with the Lord. So we're also going to read Psalm 147. Psalm 147. Praise ye the Lord, for it is good to sing praises unto our God, for it is pleasant, and praise is comely. The Lord doth build up Jerusalem. He gathereth together the outcasts of Israel. He healeth the broken in heart, and bindeth up their wounds. He telleth the number of the stars. He calleth them all by their names. Great is the Lord, and of great power. His understanding is infinite. The Lord lifted up the meek, he casteth the wicked down to the ground. Sing unto the Lord with thanksgiving, and sing praises upon the harp unto our God, who covereth the heaven with the clouds, who prepareth rain for the earth, who maketh the grass to grow upon the mountains. He giveth to the beasts food, and to the young ravens which cry. He delighteth not in the strength of the horse, he taketh not pleasure in the legs of man. The Lord taketh pleasure in them that fear him, and that hope is his mercy. Praise ye the Lord, O Jerusalem. Praise thy God, O Zion. For he has strengthened the bars of thy gates. He hath blessed thy children within thee. Verse 14. He maketh peace in thy borders, and filleth thee with the finest of the wheat. He sendeth forth his commandment upon earth. His word runneth very swiftly. He giveth snow like wool. He scattereth the hoarfrost like ashes. He casteth forth like his ice like morsels. Who can stand before his cold? He sendeth out his word, and melteth them. He causeth the wind to blow, and the waters flow. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and the judgment unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation. As for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. I believe that God would have all men to be saved. It's their choice whether they are saved or not. But yes, in the scripture, when all means all, and that he would have that all men be saved. But if they choose not to, that's their choice. And so everyone has a right to choose in all things. And that's how God made us, not robots. He could have made us to where we just did whatever he said, but he let us choose if we want to heed what he says and live by faith and accept his free gift of salvation and hit the sacrifice that he did on the cross or not. So all men could be saved if they chose to be. Exodus 15:13 is our Bible verse. Thou in thy mercy hast led forth the people which thou hast redeemed. Thou hast guided them in thy strength unto thy holy habitation. So I hope you have a blessed night as we continue to grow in the Word each day. I hope that you're thinking on Him and remembering to keep Him first. We see that Samson, even though he had God's hand in his life, he still chose the wrong things. And so all of us always have a choice, even though God may, God told Manoah and his mom that he would be there to help them be relieved from the Philistines. And he did do so, but he also got into trouble from some of his other choices that he made. And so we all could be like Samson and make choices that we shouldn't. And thankfully, God always forgives us. And so I'm thankful that He does always forgive us. That doesn't mean we should continue in sin, but that we should try to be more like Him. Anyways, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and continuing in the Word, Judges chapter 17 and Psalm 148 for tomorrow.